Barack Obama decided to sign the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. His opponent, who says he's a great decider, got a great plan. You'll have to see me after the election about the details. But everybody knows I'm good at this. Just take my word for it, whatever it is. So he was asked a simple question. This law has been on the books for a couple of years now. In the second debate, he said, would you have signed the law? There were two answers, yes and no. So when they asked Governor Romney, would you have signed the Fair Pay Act? He said, well, he said, I had some binders with women's names. Folks, I promise you in the next 4 years, there are going to be a lot harder decisions to make than whether you would sign a law that has already been on the books 2 years. I want Barack Obama to be the decider in chief. I want a decider in chief who decided to save the American automobile industry when it was facing, who saved 1 million jobs up and down the supply chain, not just in General Motors and Chrysler, which tells you why all the German and Japanese car manufacturers who didn't get a penny out of this supported the restructuring. Labor gave something, management gave something. The government kicked in some loans. You've been repaid, by the way. And after saving 1 million jobs, there are now 250,000 more people making cars than there were the day the president approved the restructuring. Now, his opponent was against it. At least he made a decision. He said, this should have let him be liquidated. And then, lo and behold, it worked like a charm. And on the theory that everybody in America has a severe case of that great public health epidemic the president called amnesia, he has offered various wordings to try to convince us that he wasn't against it, but he was. And everybody in Ohio and America now knows it. So when that didn't work, the man who wants to be our decider-in-chief said, well, who cares if Barack Obama saved General Motors and Chrysler and 1 million other jobs, because he is not to move jobs to China with Jeep. So Jeep says it's not so. So he repeats the charge. Then Chrysler with his own Jeep says it's not so. Then he repeats the job. Then the president of General Motors said, I can't believe you're saying this. We're not talking about the head of the United Auto Workers. The presidents of Chrysler and General Motors said, this is a false charge. I took it personally because when I was president, we helped the state of Ohio to locate a Jeep plant in Toledo, and they just spent $500 million more, expanded production, and hired 1,000 people. Yeah. Then he repeated the charge. Oh, but this time he made it juicier. He said, because Chrysler is owned by Fiat, or has a dominant position, his last charge was, the president is secretly working with the Italians. Jobs to China. I'm telling you, folks, he is coming after the Irish next week, and I am toast. You're laughing, but who wants a president that will knowingly, repeatedly tell you something that he knows is not true? And when all this happened, they put it on television. They ran an ad. And the more they were criticized, the more they upped the ad buy. When I was a kid, if I got my hand caught in a cookie jar where it wasn't supposed to be, I turned red in the face and I took my hand out of the cookie jar. You got to give it to Governor Romney. When he gets his hand caught in the cookie jar, he just digs down for more cookies. I want you to send him a message tomorrow. You don't have to be from Ohio to want your president to tell you the truth when it comes to jobs for the American people.